TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Hello, I'm Phil Blizzard in Dubai with the first TravelWise podcast for the month of May. News, views and interviews lined up for you today. Well, we got news of the new date for the Dubai Expo, which has been put back to next year. We have repatriation flight news. We're taking a look at an incentive from the Italian island of Sicily to try and get you there when things open up. More news from airlines regionally and globally, hotel news and events. We'll be following the sun with the virtual conference from the guys who organise the Arabian Hotel Investment Conference. Details of that coming away a bit later on. And our special interview today will be with the Director of Marketing with Cleartrip, the online booking portal, Matthew Sliedrecht, talking about, well, looking ahead really to what they can expect post-COVID-19.
TravelWise News.
Well, starting off with the big news, really, that the organisers of the Dubai Expo, the organising committee and all those members who can vote for any changes in dates have agreed that the Dubai Expo 2020 will in fact take place next year, starting on October the 1st, 2021, running through until March the 31st, 2022. That's the dates, the new dates for the Dubai Expo. Repatriation flights with news from out of the UAE. Most of the airlines, Etihad, Emirates, Fly Dubai and Air Arabia have been operating a lot of repatriation flights, and they've got so many lined up for the month of May. Not going to go through those. If you're trying to head back to your home country, check out the websites for the various airlines for your destination. Remember, these repatriation flights tend to be, well, they are one-way. Return flights will be okay for UAE nationals and also for freight, which is being carried by, I think, all of those airlines indeed.
TravelWise News.
Right, more airline news and regarding Abu Dhabi, really, in the formation of the Wizz Air Abu Dhabi. Wizz Air being the carrier, the low-cost carrier out of Hungary, one of the biggest in Europe. They've will be launching in June of this year, June 2020, 5 routes from Abu Dhabi International Airport, including Budapest and Bucharest in June, and then in September, Sofia, Katowice and Cluj-Napoca being the other 3, making up the 5 destinations from Wizz Air. So good news to them. Wizz Air Abu Dhabi expected to begin operations later this year. They're hoping to start from June 2020. Hotel news now. Hotels across the UAE are slowly opening up. Some are offering staycations with limited facilities in many ways. Some are able to offer room service only. Others will have a certain number of restaurants open. I'll tell you about the Waldorf, Astoria and Khaimah in a moment, because there's a good deal with them. And quite a few of the hotels restricting the number of guests in the hotel to 30% of their capacity. Likewise, social distancing outside around swimming pools, etc., and in restaurants which are open. Now, I phoned up. I wanted to check out the Hilton Hotel Al Hamra, and I phoned them up and got transferred really to an operator for Hilton. So look, if you want to book in the Hilton Al Hamra, we got a special deal. We'll upgrade you. Yeah, okay, I thought that sounds good, but it won't be in the Al Hamra. It'll just be a few hundred yards down the road at the Waldorf, Astoria, Khaimah. Wow. So I said, what have you got open there? Well, they have the pools open, the beach open, 2 restaurants during the week, and a 3rd restaurant will open at the weekends, the Lexington Grill. So that means you can get a good deal. Stay at the Waldorf, Astoria, Khaimah by booking into the Hilton Al Hamra through the Hilton switchboard. There you go.
TravelWise News.
Travel news now and destinations. We go to Italy, to Sicily in fact, and a plan there, a unique sort of scheme to try and boost tourism after the lockdown. They're hoping to get you to go there to this Italian Mediterranean island of Sicily by planning to discount half the price of plane tickets and pay for some of your hotel stays. You're going to pay for 1 of every 3 nights in hotels in a scheme which is hoping, the organisers, the tourism board and the government, to revive its battered tourism industry, a scheme which is going to, they're going to spend 50 million euros on. So something of a novel idea by the regional government of the island, which is an autonomous island, the island of Sicily, trying to get you to make reservations for later this year. And as well as those attractions there, you'll also get free entry to museums and archaeological sites. So the scheme was launched as empty for full. I think they've changed that, but it will open. It will be available once Italy reopens its borders. You'll get vouchers for discounted flights, hotels, free museum tickets will be made available, and that will be done via the island's official website. So keep an eye on that. Check it out. Okay, visit Sicily. There you go. So that's going to be a big incentive. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more like that around.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
My special guest today on the programme, on the podcast, is Matthew Sliedrecht, who's Director of Marketing at Cleartrip. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Phil, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Cleartrip is well established here in the UAE and beyond. So let's start off and give us an overview of Cleartrip and its various offerings, because it's more than just airlines, isn't it?
Absolutely. So Cleartrip is the largest online travel agency in the Middle East, and we have a wide range of offerings, which includes the widest range of flights, so over 400 airlines that you could choose from. We also have hotels, so over 50,000 hotels that you could choose from around the world. We also offer activities, so if you wanted to book a safari, or if you wanted to book one of the theme parks that we have within the UAE, or theme parks in other countries, we offer that. Plus, we provide customers the opportunity to get visas and also book overall holiday packages.
Right, very, very comprehensive indeed. And with us suffering cabin fever at the moment, some very appealing aspects there. But what's been the impact? It must be absolutely phenomenal, the impact of COVID-19 on you and your business.
Well, it's been an unprecedented time. So we've never seen the travel industry stop, even in previous pandemics, or even in previous situations like 9/11. Travel has always continued. So it's definitely a very interesting time for us. As an organization, the top priority for us is to support our customers who have booked and who are trying to navigate this very interesting time as well. So working with them on getting refunds, or working with them on trying to get their tickets to be open. So in the future, when travel does open up, that they're able to then still travel, and that they also feel that they're supported from a perspective during these unprecedented times.
Sure. So, I mean, the impact there, as you say, on passengers, people who made bookings, but also on your staff as well. So they need to be taken care of. What are you doing with the staff who perhaps, have you had to make people go on temporary leave and things like that?
So different organizations around the industry have taken different options. For Cleartrip, from a senior management perspective, we have taken an approach where the senior management will take a much bigger burden of any of it, and we feel it's only fair. So we think that we've come to a understanding with the entire organization, which allows us to effectively continue to manage our business and keep staff motivated as well.
You looking ahead now, I mean, a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, you were looking at what you were hoping to be massive amount of business with the Eid holidays, and with Ramadan having now started, Eid is not going to be very likely. So what are you able to offer people at the moment in terms of bookings? Are you looking sort of post-summer or what?
So the situation is changing so quickly.
Yeah.
So any forecasting is extremely difficult, as there's a lot of moving parts. For Cleartrip, it definitely wasn't an expectation that we'd get a large amount of Eid bookings. The statement was more around that it's hard to predict the future, but airline pricing didn't drop for that period.
Sure.
So it could be the first time that people are allowed to travel, and given what we've seen in other markets, there have been pent-up demand, so it could be larger than normal. From a normality perspective, we see this happening in stages. So we expect domestic markets to open up, so let's say domestic Saudi to open up first, or maybe a domestic India to open up.
Sure.
Within the UAE context, we don't have a domestic market, so we see that being intra-GCC travel to start up. With intra-GCC traveling starting up, that will allow a lot of people to travel back home, so Saudi nationals if they're still here, or to travel for business costs. A lot of companies here also operate in Saudi and also operate in Kuwait, Oman. and Bahrain.
Have you had any business coming your way regarding the repatriation flights being offered by the various airlines to get people back to their home countries, or have you found that people have been doing it directly with those airlines?
No, absolutely. We're still getting bookings through. We've been communicating with our customers that they can book repatriation flights with Cleartrip. And obviously we're working with all partners who are offering repatriation flights across the GCC to help consumers who need to get back home, get back home.
As you say, I mean, it's an evolving situation. Changes are being made day by day, and the sort of advice we put out on the travel program is to keep your eyes peeled with the airlines and people like yourselves, because some airlines are suddenly adding extra services, repatriation services at very short notice, aren't they?
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
So there's talk that Emirates might commence services at the start of Q3, so that's going to be beginning of July, which is perhaps they're being cautious and, as you say, don't want to start up and have to slow down again.
So I think from that, I also read that press release. From what I saw, it said normal operations from the 1st of July. So I'm not sure what that word normal operations means, but I think that would probably mean that they're up to kind of their full schedule pre the pandemic. We've got very good relationships with almost all airlines in the region, and so we are frequently talking to them on how they see their travel evolve. And like we said, we think it's going to be a rollout. As the pandemic was rolling out in other countries, we saw that airlines stopped flying to those countries. And so we expect the same thing to happen as countries open up.
Sure.
So as countries and governments discuss with each other, or governing bodies discuss with each other, they'll be able to quickly get an understanding of how each country is dealing with the pandemic, and then take the call to open up those travel corridors or not.
Yeah.
And a responsible approach to ensuring that we can slowly but surely reopen and get back to normal.
So what's your main focus at the moment from a future customer perspective?
So for us, we are looking at a few things. One is we expect customers to require safety. So we think from an airport perspective that there'll be airport checks that come through. We've already seen that some airlines are doing 10-minute tests to test, and there's also self-service swab areas where people can come through. We think there'll need to be some standardization around procedures for pre-boarding and disinfection to help ensure that consumers are eager, or not eager might be the wrong word, but to ensure that consumers are able to have an understanding that these are the processes in place designed to help protect you for when you are traveling. We'll also think airlines will come out with, or be graded based on how the cleanliness or the air quality. Most airlines use HEPA filters, discussing their cabin cleaning processes, as well as kind of how they're making sure that while you are traveling, sanitization has been done.
It's building up the confidence, isn't it, really, showing people that measures are in place, action is being taken to give them confidence that when they fly, they're going to be in a safest possible environment on board the aircraft. So thank you, Matt, so much indeed for your insights, and we wish you all the best for Cleartrip and future flights. And my final question is one which I've been putting to everyone coming onto the programme. When we're in this position to travel freely, what would be your number one choice of a destination and why?
Well, I had tickets booked to Serbia for me and the family at the end of May, but I think that might be might be a little ambitious. But my big trip for this year was to go to Mongolia. So I wanted to fly into Ulaanbaatar and then go visit the monasteries around Ulaanbaatar, and then hopefully try go down to the Gorky National Park, and if possible, make it to the Gobi National Park.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you can achieve that sometime in 2020 when we get back to flying around and business doesn't hold you back, because I guess there's been a lot of catching up for you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Phil. It's been an absolute pleasure.
A pleasure. And once again, all the best for the rest of the year and into 2021, and I hope you achieve that trip. Matthew,
Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Many thanks to Matthew for joining me here on TravelWise. Coming away in the next few editions of TravelWise, our featured interviews, well, we've got adventurer Ryan Parl. He produces programs for a multitude of TV channels, very much off the beaten track, so to speak. And I'll also be talking to the new CEO of the Global Tourism Forum, Samira Isaac. Okay, so those are coming your way in future editions of the TravelWise podcast. And coming away next, we're taking a look at some events, starting off with a virtual version of the Arabian Hotel Investment Conference.
TravelWise News.
Well, one of the big events in the region, the Middle East region, for investors and the hospitality industry is the Arabian Hotel Investment Conference. Generally takes place in April. That's been put back to September of this year. Meanwhile, they continue the Arabian Hotel Investment Conference with a series of virtual events under the banner of Hospitality Tomorrow. Now, their second edition takes place on Tuesday, May the 12th. It's called Follow the Sun, Asia to America. The online conference starts at 9 a.m. UAE time. That's 6 a.m. in the UK, and will be spread across 12 hours with a multitude of industry experts. There'll be a chance to network with colleagues online, of course. And if you want further information about the second edition of the Arabian Hotel Investment Conference online, which is under the banner of Hospitality Tomorrow, the series, go to Bench Events, or you can Google AHIC, Arabian Hotel Investment Conference. Another event which generally takes place in the Middle East region, in Dubai, in fact, is the Arabian Travel Market. It was due to be held in May, but they've postponed that until next year. But they will be following the virtual event pattern, really, with special events from June the 1st to June the 3rd. They'll have webinars, live conference sessions, speed networking events, and many more. That's the Arabian Travel Market going online, going virtual, June the 1st to June the 3rd this year. This is a Phil Blizzard media production. You can drop me an email with your news regarding what's happening in the world of travel, tourism and aviation. My email address is philblizzardmedia@gmail.com. And coming soon, interviews. Let me tell you about some interviews lined up. Ryan Parl, adventurer, produces TV programs and presents TV programs for a number of TV channels. Very much an adventurer. And also talking to the new CEO of the Global Tourism Forum, Samira Isaac. So those key interviews coming your way in future editions of TravelWise, along with the latest travel news from across the Middle East region and beyond. And if you want further updates on what's happening in the world of travel, check out my travel show on Capital Radio, Saturday afternoons. It's called Wish You Were Here, Capital Radio UAE, between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. So you can check that one out on, just Google. It's online. You can so you can listen from anywhere in the world. Just do a Google search, Radio Capital Radio UAE. I'm Phil Blizzard. You take care. Catch you soon.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.